The Earth, as we observe it today with its familiar continents and oceans, is the product of a staggering 4.5 billion-year geological evolution. This process transformed the planet from a molten, inhospitable sphere into the dynamic world we inhabit, characterized by a dramatic and ever-shifting surface where the seemingly permanent continents are but transient features in deep time. Initially, our planet presented a profoundly different face. Following its formation approximately 4.54 billion years ago, Earth existed as a molten ball of magma. It was only around 4.4 billion years ago that a solid crust cooled sufficiently for water vapor in the primordial atmosphere to condense, creating the first global oceans. For nearly a billion years, Earth was essentially a water world, an almost entirely aquatic planet where any exposed land was limited to isolated volcanic islands protruding from a global sea. The first significant change to this maritime landscape began in the Archean Eon. Between 3.6 and 3.2 billion years ago, the first stable continental cores, known as cratons, rose above the waves. Geological evidence from ancient rocks in India's Singvam Craton, Jharkhand and Odisha, and South Africa's Karpval Craton indicates that extensive landmasses and the planet's first beaches existed by this period. These initial land fragments, potentially forming a theoretical supercontinent named Valbara, later coalesced into a more substantial landmass called Kenaland around 2.7 billion years ago, which likely straddled the equator. The planet's Proterozoic eon witnessed the establishment of a recurring pattern, the supercontinent cycle. Kenaland fragmented and its pieces reassembled to form Columbia or Nuna, about 1.8 billion years ago. This continent, in turn, broke apart before colliding once more to create Rodinia approximately 1.1 billion years ago. This vast, barren supercontinent dramatically altered global climate systems, likely blocking ocean currents and contributing to a series of global glaciations known as the Snowball Earth events. The final act of continental assembly culminated in the formation of Earth's most famous supercontinent. Following the breakup of Rodinia and a brief period with the southern supercontinent Panettia, all major landmasses collided around 335 million years ago. This colossal merger united Gondwana encompassing South America, Africa, India, Antarctica, and Australia, with Laurasia, North America, Europe, and Asia, to form Pangaea, a singular landmass surrounded by the immense global ocean of Panthalassa. The modern geological era is defined by the Great Breakup of Pangaea, a process that began about 200 million years ago and continues today. This fragmentation shaped the contemporary world map. By 175 million years ago, the Atlantic Ocean began to open as the Americas drifted away from Africa and Europe. Shortly after, around 160 million years ago, a combined India-Madagascar landmass separated from Africa. The decisive split between India and Madagascar occurred approximately 88 million years ago, triggered by volcanic activity from the Marian hotspot. This left India as an isolated continent, which proceeded on a rapid northward journey, culminating in a colossal collision with Eurasia around 50 million years ago. This impact crumpled the continental crust, giving rise to the Himalayan mountain range and closing the ancient Tethys Sea. The story does not end. The continents continue their slow, relentless drift. The Atlantic Ocean widens by several centimeters each year, while the Pacific Basin slowly shrinks. Perhaps most tellingly, the East African Rift Valley provides a glimpse into the future, as Africa gradually splits apart, a process that may, over millions of years, create a new ocean basin. Thus, Earth's face remains in constant, imperceptible motion, a testament to the dynamic forces that have sculpted its history and will continue to shape its distant future. 600 million years ago, Gondwana assembled. The crust of India, Madagascar, and Africa fused together under immense heat and pressure, forming a single mountain corridor of granulites, charnokites, and gneisses. These rocks, forged in the Precambrian, became the backbone of continents. Gondwana floated in Panthalassa, the all-sea ocean, with the Tethys Ocean lying to its north. In India, this spine rises today as the Western Ghats. North of the Palakkad Gap, the Nilgiri Hills culminate in Doddabetta, a fault-block highland with rivers such as the Bhavani and Moya flowing east. South of the gap, the Anaimalai Hills form a rugged wall, ridges running from Vazani through Pichi and Varnyampara to Parambakulam. These heights feed the Amaravathi eastwards and the Bharathapura westwards. In Madagascar, the mirror lies in the Saratanana Massif with Maramokotro, the volcanic Ankaratra Plateau, the granite Andringitra Highlands, and the metamorphic Anosi ridges. Between these massifs lie tectonic scars. In India, the Palgata Chankaval shear zones mark deep sutures, guiding valleys and controlling breaks such as the Palakkad Gap. In Madagascar, the Ranozara zone runs for 350 kilometers, a corridor of ridges, valleys, and fault-controlled rivers. These shear zones were once joined, a single seam across Gondwana, later torn apart by rifting. In the late Jurassic to Cretaceous, between about 160 and 89 million years ago, proto-drainage corridors began to flow eastwards across this united crust. The Anaimalai Highlands fed rivers like the Proto-Amaravathi, whilst Madagascar's cousins, the Onalahi, Mangoki, and Siribihina, cut valleys across the plateau. The climate was a greenhouse world, warm and humid, with rainfall driven by equatorial convection rather than the monsoon. Around 120 million years ago, rifting began. By 89 million years ago, India and Madagascar were separating, and the Indian Ocean was opening between them. The Arabian Sea was born as the western margin of India tilted, and the Western Ghats rose as a rift shoulder. This uplift reversed slopes. What had been gentle eastward drainage now became a steep escarpment westward. The Nila, or Bharathapura, found its path to the Arabian Sea, whilst the Amaravathi continued east. Much later, around 50 million years ago, India collided with Asia. The crust crumpled, and the Himalayas rose, the highest mountains on Earth. This uplift intensified atmospheric circulation, and by 12 to 8 million years ago, the southwest monsoon arrived. Seasonal rains draped their rhythm over older valleys. Eastward rivers such as the Amaravathi and Bhavani gained monsoon pulses, whilst westward rivers such as the Nila became torrents, sharpening gorges and building coastal plains. Madagascar, though outside the Indian monsoon, saw its own rainfall intensify, with rivers such as the Mangoki and Betsaboka carrying heavy sediment loads westwards into the Mozambique Channel. The rocks themselves tell the story. India's Western Ghats are rich in charnokite, granite, and gneiss, with gemstones such as garnet, beryl, and corundum found in their metamorphic belts. Madagascar, too, is famed for its stones, sapphires from Ilokaka, rubies from Andilamena, emeralds, tourmaline, and aquamarine from its Precambrian crust. These gems are crystallized memories of Gondwana's heat and pressure, treasures born of the same mountain corridor that once united continents. Ananganmala, north of the Anaimalai Wall and southwest of the Nilgiri Massif, stands as a solitary inselberg in this story. Rising abruptly from the Palakkad Plains, it is a punctuation mark in the broken spine of Gondwana. Its rocky slopes feed tributaries into the Bharatapura, linking the local landscape to the continental narrative. In Madagascar, similar outliers stand along the Ranozara corridor and the Isolo Plateau, isolated knobs carved from ancient crust, reminders of a mountain chain once whole. To stand on Ananganmala today is to feel this deep history. The Nilgiris to the north, the Anaimalai wall to the south, the Palakkad gap between them, and the Bharatapura flowing westwards, all are echoes of Gondwana's fracture. Across the ocean, Saratanana, Andringitra, and Ranozara rise as cousins, broken twins of the same spine. The rivers remember: Amaravathi eastwards, Nila westwards, Mangoki and Onalahi in Madagascar. The gemstones sparkle as crystallized witnesses. Together they tell the story of mountains split, slopes reversed, oceans opened, and waters redirected by the drifting of continents. Today, Ananganmala is not only a geological witness but also a center for ecotourism. Its rocky slopes and forested trails attract walkers, birdwatchers, and nature enthusiasts. The hill affords panoramic views of the Palakkad Plains and the Bharatapura Basin, whilst its biodiversity, from scrub forests to endemic species, makes it a living classroom. Ecotourism initiatives here emphasize conservation, sustainable livelihoods for the village of Ananganadi, and a deeper appreciation of the mountain's ancient Chanokite roots. In this way, Ananganmala continues to connect science, nature, and community. The Bharatapura, known locally as the Nila, is Kerala's second longest river and one of its most culturally resonant waterways. Rising in the Anaimalai hills of Tamil Nadu, it flows westwards through the Palakkad Gap, crossing Palakkad, Thrissur, and Malappuram districts before reaching the Arabian Sea at Ponani. Its course stretches for 209 kilometers, and its basin covers more than 6,000 square kilometers, making it a vital artery for agriculture, settlement, and culture in central Kerala. The river's journey is marked by both vertical descent and horizontal spread. In its upper reaches, the Nila drops steeply from the Anaimalai slopes, feeding reservoirs and cutting valleys. As it enters the plains, its horizontal breadth becomes evident, with wide sandy beds and braided channels that shift with the seasons. The river is joined by several tributaries, including the Thuthapura, Gayathriapura, Kalpathapura, Kanadipura, and the Tirua River. Together, they drain the Nilgiri and Anaimalai slopes, expanding the basin's reach and sustaining its flow. Irrigation has long been central to the river's role in Kerala's economy. Reservoirs such as Malampura, Pechi, and Vazani divert water to sustain paddy fields, coconut groves, and cash crops. These projects have supported livelihoods but have also reduced downstream flow, particularly in the dry season. Groundwater depletion in the basin has become a pressing concern, with falling water tables linked to over-extraction and changing rainfall patterns. Environmental pressures have intensified in recent decades. Sand mining, often uncontrolled, has destabilized the riverbed, lowered its level, and weakened natural filtration systems. Deforestation in the catchment has reduced infiltration, increasing runoff during monsoon and lowering base flow in summer. Pollution from urban effluents and agricultural chemicals has further degraded water quality, particularly near towns such as Cherupulassery and Manoor. The river's history is marked by floods and catastrophes. Seasonal floods once replenished soils and sustained wetlands, but encroachment on floodplains has made modern floods more destructive. The Kerala floods of 2018 demonstrated the vulnerability of the Bharatapura Basin, with settlements and agricultural land inundated. At the same time, drought has become a recurring challenge. Erratic monsoons and climate change have led to declining discharge, leaving villages along the basin, including Ottappalam and Ananganmala, facing water scarcity during summer months. From Ananganmala, the solitary inselberg north of the Anaimalai Wall, the view of the Bharathapura near Ottappalam is striking. In summer, the river appears as a broad horizontal sweep of sandbanks and shallow channels, a landscape of scarcity and fragility. In monsoon, the vertical surge of water fills the basin, touching floodplains and reminding observers of its power. This vantage point captures both the grandeur of the river's past and the challenges of its present. The Bharathapura is more than a physical river, it is a cultural symbol. Known as the Nila, it has inspired poets, writers, and musicians, becoming a metaphor for Kerala's literary and artistic renaissance. Yet its ecological fragility is undeniable. The contrast between past abundance and present stress highlights the urgent need for sustainable basin management. Conservation, regulation of sand mining, reforestation, and community-based stewardship are essential if the Nila is to remain both a natural and cultural heritage for future generations. Ananganmala, the solitary inselberg north of the Anaimalai Wall, is a geological witness to the deep history of Gondwana. Its Charnockite core was forged in the Precambrian, more than 600 million years ago, under immense heat and pressure when India, Madagascar, and Africa were joined as one. Rising abruptly from the Palakkad plains, Ananganmala stands as a punctuation mark in the broken spine of Gondwana, a reminder of the mountain corridor that once stretched unbroken across continents. From its slopes, small streams descend into the Bharathapura basin, linking local landscapes to continental narratives. The inselbergs position between the Nilgiri Massif to the north and the Anaimalai Wall to the south gives it a physiographic significance. It is both a marker of tectonic fracture and a modest water divide. Across the Indian Ocean, similar outliers stand in Madagascar, along the Rano-Zara corridor and the Isolo Plateau, broken twins of the same ancient spine. The Bharathapura, or Nila, flows westwards from the Anaimalai Hills through the Palakkad Gap to the Arabian Sea at Ponani. Its course stretches for 209 kilometers, and its basin covers more than 6,000 square kilometers. Tributaries such as the Thuthapura, Gayathiripura, Kalpathapura, Kanadipura, and Tiru River expand its reach, draining the Nilgiri and Anaimalai slopes. In the past, the river's floods replenished soils and sustained wetlands, shaping agriculture and settlement. Today, irrigation projects such as Malampura and Peachy divert water to paddy fields and coconut groves, but over-extraction has reduced downstream flow. Sand mining has destabilized the riverbed, deforestation has weakened infiltration, and pollution has degraded water quality. The floods of 2018 revealed the basin's vulnerability, whilst recurring droughts now leave villages such as Ottappalam and Ananganmala facing summer scarcity. From Ananganmala, the view of the Nila near Ottappalam is striking. In summer, the river appears as a broad horizontal sweep of sandbanks and shallow channels. In monsoon, the vertical surge of water fills the basin, touching floodplains and reminding observers of its power. This vantage point captures both the grandeur of the river's past and the fragility of its present. Today, Ananganmala is not only a geological witness but also a center for ecotourism. Its rocky slopes and forested trails attract walkers, birdwatchers, and nature enthusiasts. The hill affords panoramic views of the Palakkad plains and the Pathiripala basin, whilst its biodiversity, from scrub forests to endemic species, makes it a living classroom. Eco-tourism initiatives here emphasize conservation, sustainable livelihoods for the village of Ananganmala, and a deeper appreciation of the mountain's ancient Chanokite roots. Yet the challenges remain. The Pathiripala basin faces pressures from sand mining, deforestation, and climate variability. Sustainable management is essential if the Nila is to remain both a natural and cultural heritage. Ananganmala, standing immovable in stone yet vulnerable in ecology, symbolizes this balance. It connects science, nature, and community, reminding us that geological endurance must be matched by human stewardship. Ananganmala, the granite hill rising from the Palakkad plains near Ottappalam, has already been described as a geological witness and a vantage point over the Pathiripala basin. To complete the story, it is important to recognize its present role as a center for eco-tourism, managed under the guidance of the Kerala Forest Department. The Kerala Forest Department oversees eco-tourism projects across the state through its State Forest Development Agency, SFDA, and local forest development agencies. These initiatives follow a participatory forest management approach, ensuring that local communities are directly involved in conservation and benefit sharing. Eco-tourism here is not mass tourism but a sustainable practice, combining trekking, birdwatching, and environmental education with livelihood support, it is heard. At Ananganmala, eco-tourism highlights the hill's natural beauty and biodiversity. The rocky slopes and scrub forests host endemic species, while trails provide opportunities for walkers and birdwatchers. From the summit, visitors enjoy panoramic views of the Palakkad plains and the winding Pathiripala near Ottappalam. The Kerala Tourism Department also promotes Ananganmala as part of its eco-tourism network, recognizing its cultural and scenic value. These initiatives emphasize conservation and community engagement. The village of Ananganmala benefits from sustainable livelihoods linked to eco-tourism, while visitors gain a deeper appreciation of the mountain's ancient Chanokite roots. The Kerala Forest Department regulates activities to prevent deforestation, quarrying, and unsustainable exploitation, ensuring that the inselberg remains both a geological monument and a living classroom. In the wider context, eco-tourism at Ananganmala complements Kerala's network of forest-based destinations such as Gavi, Nellyampathy, and Arippa. Each site demonstrates how conservation and tourism can coexist, provided they are carefully managed. For Ananganmala, the challenge is to balance its immovable geological endurance with the fragile ecology of its slopes and the pressures of human activity. All are collected info to be checked. Ananganmala Eco-Tourism unites the geological deep time of Gondwana, the hydrological story of the Pathiripala, the cultural resonance of the Nila, and the present-day stewardship of the Kerala Forest Department. Ananganmala is not only a stone witness to ancient tectonics but also a modern symbol of sustainable tourism, conservation, and community. Do not forget to double-check the details given.